Today, I bring a battle report for you. You lucky, lucky people.
The Spiel Canal, yet another gaming channel with no budget for animation or even a catchy tune.
Young Sam, who joined the campaign 3 scenarios in, wanted to try Scenario 1, the Beast. So I said, I'll play with you, Sam. Only talking about Necromunda, mind you. Get your mind out of the gutter. So Sam brought his Palanites, woefully underprepared, if you asked me. Should have been docked points for this. Pretty much a grey gang with Captain Grey, aptly named, Sergeant Yarvin, PC Holt, who's a subjugator, Ingrid, PC Ingrid? I guess so, and Bob. Doesn't get a rank. Poor Bob. I brought my Cawdor along. Father Balthazar, who has an eviscerator, chainsaw with a flamer on it, can't say no. Brother Josh, shotgun. Brother Bullrick, autogun. Brother Darlin, pike/blunderbuss. Thing 1, stub gun, Cawdor Juve. Thing 2, redemptionist Juve, also with a stub gun. No additional fighters brought in for me. I'm following the rules of the campaign. This is all of my gang. For those of you unfamiliar with the scenario, it's 2 gangs, 6 lairs. One of them has the beast. You have to kill the beast. Some of the lairs have some swarms in, little angry ankle biters, and some of the lairs are empty, just abandoned. So you go and search. It's random to draw what comes from it. Once a lair has been searched, it is removed. Now, if you've played Necromunda, you know the first round is pretty much just a movement round. Unless you've got some long-range weapons, which neither of us do, then you're just moving into position, and at the end, I get to generate some Acts of Faith dice. If you're unfamiliar with Cawdor, they have some religious paths that they can follow. We let a person in the bunker called Will randomly pick my path. It was Path of the Fanatic. So at the end of a round, you roll a dice for each member of your gang who is not out of action or seriously injured. And if it's a 5 or a 6, it goes into your dice pool. Most of the abilities, the Articles of Faith, are poison pills. They give some benefits, but they take something away. Is the Emperor with me? Yes, he is. So first round, we are not at any lairs yet, so nothing is found. On to turn 2. Turn 2, there was some shooting. It was ineffective. Thing 2 did search a lair and found some swarm, 2 of, and Darlin tried to help him out by using some purgation rounds and try and set those little critters on fire. He was not successful. Well, he set one on fire, which is good. That means that one's going to bounce about like a loon. But then he ran out of ammo. He only brought 1 purgation shot. Useless.
Alright, well, load up the next one.
This was it, only one.
You thought we were gonna get it on the first fucking try?
Over 2 turns, Father Balthazar and Brother Josh have been running up to the highest point lair, but they are still quite some way from getting there. From the Palanite side, there was some moving around, and Yarvin got to check a lair and found nothing. Ingrid got in position to check one next turn, but there was a lot of running around again. The swarm did attack Thing 2, but it was uneventful. The other one, which was on fire, ran off the edge of the platform. Hilarity ensued. We move on to turn 3. For the Cawdor side, Thing 2 failed to retreat, and so it was quite ineffective. Darlin did take a wound off of the swarm with his pike, but it was but a scratch. Ingrid did find a swarm, and Captain Grey tried to offer some fire support, but failed miserably, managing to hit nothing. I did take a couple of the pot shots at some Palanites, and Bullrick pulled back to not get caught in the short range of a shotgun before taking a shot of his autogun, but was unsuccessful. Maybe it would have been a better strategy to actually move closer and get that short range bonus. Thing 1 went around the flank and took a shot at some Palanites, but again, all that prayer was not enough for the Emperor to grace them with any accuracy. These Cawdor are letting me down. Balthazar and Josh continue to not contribute by racing still to that top level. It did not look that far away when they started. At the end of the turn, Thing 2 died to the swarm. And he went straight out of action, so I could not use one of the Acts of Faith where he's seriously injured. All these miracle dice and nothing to do with them. Ingrid went the same way. Chomp, chomp, chomp. The Palanites and Cawdor have both lost their first members. Ulrich, with his autogun, decided to take a shot at the very close swarm that was on fire and missed. I guess shooting is not his forte. Darlin tried a grape shot from his blunderbuss. He managed to pin Subjugator Holt, but he missed the swarm. Subsequently, the swarm was not happy about a blunderbuss going off right next to them, and they charged and consumed him. Poor Ulrich. That is going to leave a mark. Balthazar and Josh finally get to the lair at the top. They search it and there's nothing there. Oh my god. 4 turns it's taken for them to get there. Now it's going to be a race to the last 2 lairs to see where the beast is. Balthazar has been at the acid, which is zealotry to the Emperor, and he jumps from the top platform. This is where I got to use Article of Faith, and lo, I did spread my wings and the God Emperor carried me aloft. Well, you have to roll some of your dice, you get to choose how many, and you need to get a 5+ result. So obviously if you've got a lot of dice, it's easy to get, really. You do have to declare that you're doing this before you roll, so you can't change your mind if you don't roll enough. And it does say, should they fall, their faith was clearly lacking. Okay, the I added. So Balthazar reached the threshold to reduce the fall distance. Boom. D6 +2, 5-inch fall. Rolled a 1, so only shave 3 inches off of that 5, which means he has to make an initiative check to land on his feet, which of course he failed. The Emperor did indeed find him wanting. When it came to swarmy swarm time, the swarm that was on fire managed to run into Ulrich, but it doesn't set him on fire. That mechanic doesn't exist in the game, unfortunately. But then when it rolled to put itself out, it rolled a 6, which meant it still had an action to do. It then ate Ulrich. These zealots are falling like flies. Holt took a charge on the shield, and the ravenous swarm scratched furiously. But luckily, as his shield isn't painted, no damage was visible. Holt hit the swarm and knocked it back an inch with his shield. Yarvin, Captain Grey, Josh, Thing 1, all booking it over towards the 2 lairs that are remaining. And then, at the end of turn, my poor god, they failed the bottle test. So Balthazar took his cool check and rolled a double 1. But luckily, Redemptionists have some re-rolls for nerve checks. Yes, we play it like that. So he had a re-roll and passed, and he was within radius of Josh, so Josh also passed. He was not, however, in radius of Thing 1, and he booked it out of there. I'm now down to just 2 gangers. Going into turn 6, Holt kills the swarm that he knocked back with a shotgun blast to all their little faces, but there is another swarm that is closing on behind him, so we'll see where that goes. Josh finally got to check the second from last lair, and the beast arrives. So he passes an initiative check. It's one of the rules for the scenario. Check out in the comments to download it. Hopefully I remember to do that. And he gets to react with his last action, and he fires on full auto with a shotgun. I'm just adding the full auto, there's no effect there. So he gets the hit, and it's a scatter shot, but that is toughness 2, which means he needs 6s and gets none. No 6s at all. The beast is pinned, so it won't be able to charge, but he's done no damage to it whatsoever. And Balthazar, wanting to contribute to this battle, yells out, "And his feet carried him into the fray!" An Article of Faith. He gets a free movement action, takes a flesh wound regardless if he passes the threshold, which is only a 2-up, so easily made because I have loads of dice still. He takes his flesh wound, he gets his move, he follows it up with a charge, which he cannot fail because it's movement plus D3. He's within movement range, and that gets him close enough that he can use the versatility of the Eviscerator against that grotesque, beastly hide. Now on a charge roll, he only rolled 1, so this is a good sign. So he uses that versatile attack so that the beast can't hit him back if he fails to kill it. He has 3 attacks with Sever and Shred. Here they are on the screen. If he pulls it quickly, you can see what they do. But I don't want to disrupt the flow. Only 1 makes it through, but it has a wound roll of 6. This could be devastating. Sam takes the beast's invul roll, and he rolls a 6. Dickhead. I can now take you to the floor during this recording for my immediate reaction.
Of course I roll a 6.
Wanker. The beast does a ranged attack and dissolves Balthazar into a bubble of mush. He is sludge. He is no more. It's a very, very grisly way to go, ladies and gentlemen. Now Josh managed to keep his nerve, but as Cawdor already failed a bottle test, when he took his next cool check, he failed and ran away. Cawdor are no more. There are only Palanites left on the board. Now Sam opts to carry on. He wants to kill the beast. He wants the reward. Unfortunately, Bob has been taken down by a swarm, but Holt, well on his way for MVP, eliminates another swarm with his shotgun. Sweet relief. So we go into the next round. Now there is a swarm still on the flank, and Captain Grey decides to take a shot. But he manages to shoot one of his own squad. He seriously injures them too in the process. Whoops. Captain Grey makes a note to go over and sprinkle a little bit of a crack on his officer, and so it was completely justified. Now the swarm, which has, I'm sure, some kind of malevolent intelligence, something instinctive, it takes the opportunity sowed by this mix-up and it charges Holt. It has 4 attacks. It needs 5s. It wounds on 2s due to Holt's reduced toughness. Holt has 4-up saves. Oh. He then shield slams back into the swarm. On the other side of the board, the beast, it charges Captain Grey at the end of the turn. It moves deceptively quickly for a creature of this size. It destroys the young captain.
It's dead.
Flings him aside like he wasn't even there. Maybe a lack of paint doesn't help protection. Sam fails a nerve test and decides, with 3 down and a serious injury, it's better to retire.
Holt's going to run. Holt is going to run as fast as he can in the direction most opposite.
After all this, the beast wins. Well done, beast. The end of scenario 1. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, this battle report was at least partially entertaining. Adieu, adieu. Peace.